Hey there, gangstars. How we doing? I'm going to make chicken fried steak, and I thought, hey, let's show you guys how to do it. So let's begin. First things first, we're going to take some cube steak, and we're going to marinate it overnight with a little pepper, salt, garlic, onion powder, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and a little bit of milk. Now you might ask, why do that? Because we need to tenderize the meat. The cube steak is a particularly rough cut, and normally it's a little cheaper. So once we do that, we're on to phase 2, the hammering. Now we're going to take one of our cuts, set it on the cutting board, and with this we will begin hammering. Now, as you hammer, remember, we're not trying to break the steak apart, we're only trying to tenderize and flatten it out. Finished product should look a little something like this. Once our steaks are nice and flattened out, it's time to dredge them in both buttermilk and flour. The flour is important, and we're going to mix it. Now, we've got our flour in the bowl, but we're going to need to mix it. So we're going to use coriander, paprika, cayenne, garlic, onion powder, black pepper, and salt. So I don't really have a set recipe in the sense that I don't really measure it. I kind of just pour until I feel that I like how it looks and how it smells. Never underestimate the power of smell. We want to be a little bit less generous, however, with the cayenne and the paprika. That's mainly there to just give it a slight kick, but we don't want to kill anybody. Right. We're going to be a little bit more generous with the garlic. Okay. Get us a little onion powder in there. Right. Again, nothing too crazy. Get a little salt. And a little pepper. Now you can mix it any kind of way, but I like to mix it by hand so I can kind of control and make sure everything is getting evenly distributed in. So we're just going to give that a good mix. Alright. So your flour should look a little something like this. Now we come to the portion where we will take our cut. We're going to dip it. I like to do wet into dry. So then we coat it in the flour. And then one more coat in the wet. We want to really build those ridges. And what I mean by ridges is those golden parts when we fry it up. So it should look a little something like this. Now here we come to a critical moment. We have them breaded and ready. However, hold your horses. We're going to need to put these in the fridge for about 10 to 15 minutes. Doing so will allow all of these things to adhere to the meat and not slip off during the frying process. So we'll be back in 15 minutes. Alright everybody, now that we've got the steaks in the fridge resting, we're going to take about a half stick of butter. We're going to slowly melt it in a pan. We don't want to burn it. That's the key. We want it to be very slow. And we're going to make us some white gravy, because if it ain't white gravy, it just ain't chicken fried steak. So when the butter renders down, you want it to look like this. As you see, no burn spots, no brown, nice and yellow. Stirring it is the key. Once the butter is down, we're going to start adding pinches of flour, always making sure that we're stirring as we go, a little bit at a time. We don't want it to clump, right? That's what we're trying to avoid, so we're going to really stir the bejeebus out of this. And a lot of people ask me, well, how much flour do I use? I don't know. I do pinchies. As you can see. Pinchamundo. And again, the key is to keep it consistently moving, otherwise you're going to get nasty, clumpy gravy and ain't nobody trying to have that. So what we're going to go for is kind of like, almost like a Play-Doh style substance. So we're just going to keep adding our flour until we get it. And again, what's the secret? Stirring! It's stirring. Making sure that we don't get clumps, that it's nice and consistent throughout. Just making sure. Also, heads up, please be doing this on medium to low heat. Elsewise, you're going to burn both the flour and your butter, and it's going to suck. As you can see, Melanie is a master camera person, and we appreciate her. We love her. Mel, you're a terrific human being. My ride or die. Okay, I think one pinch more should do it. Oh, now we're cooking. Get it? Dad jokes. I think dog dads can count for dad jokes. Alright, so as you can see, this is what the final product should look like. You want to come in close, man? As you can see, it's nice, consistent, and it's got almost like a rubbery style texture. But now what we're going to do is we're going to stop turning it for just a second. We're going to grab our whole milk. And we're going to pour, and pour, and pour, and pour, and pour, and pour, and stir it, and legging it, and stirring it, and pouring it. Okay. Now, we're going to take this to medium-high heat. Consistently stirring is the key. Now is the point where if you want to, you can add a little bit of salt, right? A little bit of pepper in there. Okay. Touch of onion powder. And we're just going to stir it. We'll see you in a few minutes to show you what it looks like. We've got the oil started now. Always remember, using vegetable oil, please don't try to use olive oil. It's never going to work out for frying. Check it out. So we've got it once again on medium high, right? You could even push it just a little bit further. The reason being, we don't want our oil too hot, elsewise the oil will burn and we will burn the steaks. We want to cook them nice and evenly. Now as you can see, it's about 10 minutes in and the gravy is starting to thicken. Always make sure it's okay if it's not immediately thick. Remember, as it renders down and we put it down to low, it's going to continue to thicken. If for some reason you missed and you didn't add enough flour, that's okay. We can add a little cornstarch slurry, which I will show you later if we need it. Now once the oil is ready, we're going to lay them gently in. Always remember laying them gently in. One, to preserve the ridges, which is the floury part cooking. And number two, so that you don't burn the heck out of yourself. Burns are no fun, trust me. Now, as you can see, the ridges right here are nice and brown. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some tongs. We're going to grab underneath very gently, and we're going to turn. There we go. As you can see, we got a nice crispy skin coming around. Very nice. Let's turn this other bad boy. Ooh, baby, baby. Those are the ridges we're talking about, those nice little pockets. Now we'll be cooking these about 3 minutes each side. And as we'll see, the way to really tell is if the bottom level of when we flip is now crunchy and brown. So these are looking pretty good. Let's take them off. Let's take one off and see. As you can see, very nice. Got a nice color. Nice and consistent. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, here is the final product, a lovely chicken fried steak. And as you can see, our gravy did not need a corn starch slurry. It is perfectly thick. Always remember, guys, wash your hands, wear gloves. Mental health is a real deal thing. We'll catch you guys in the next one.